Hey guys, SuperHorrorBro Mike here, and in today's video we take a look at a new theory for Bendy and the Dark Revival, the upcoming follow-up to Bendy and the Ink Machine. Ever since the reveal of Bendy's new design late last year, with a release of Dark Revival merchandise, I felt as though his presence and purpose in this new game may differ radically from the original. These feelings have only grown stronger when viewing a recent teaser trailer featuring central protagonist Audrey and the silhouette of Bendy, in addition to an expanded version of the unknown character audio released last year in the Symphony of Shadows update for spin-off Boris and the Dark Survival.
How very interesting. Such knowledge. How very interesting. Such knowledge.
The more I looked at this key information and considered it alongside the events of Bendy and the Ink Machine, the more the pieces of a missing puzzle began to fall into place. Could we be seeing a true evolution of Bendy's character as he grows into something far more sinister and dangerous than we saw previously? I believe so, and in this video we put the scraps of information together in an attempt to craft a new theory which makes sense of everything. So sit back, relax, and let's dive into a brand new theory for Bendy and the Dark Revival, the evolution of the Ink Demon. To understand how Bendy makes his new transformation, we first need to familiarise ourselves with Bendy's appearance in the original game and his story so far. We now know that the Ink Machine was a contraption born from the mind of studio head Joey Drew and brought to life by the engineering talent of the Gent Company and its employee Thomas Connor. This machine was devised by Joey to bring his cartoon creations to life, which he planned to use in an amusement park called Bendyland, the first ever theme park to feature real-life cartoon mascots rather than people in suits. Take that, Disney World. Joey Drew soon discovered he required human souls to successfully do this, as his first attempt at bringing his iconic character Bendy to life without one resulted in a horrific failure.
The first figure ever created was a failed attempt in the likeness of the character called Bendy.
So Bendy was born into the real world from the cartoon world as a shambling monstrosity Joey was certain would scare away his investors. And because of this, he had Thomas Connor keep the Ink Demon locked away from the world in secret. In the book Dreams Come to Life, we discover Bendy had been locked away inside the infirmary and was accidentally released by protagonist Buddy Lewick. At this point, Bendy seemed to be set on consuming anyone he came into contact with, whether this was a byproduct of his lack of compassion due to having no soul, or simply as a deranged revenge motivation, lashing out at his human creators for birthing him into such a miserable existence. The point is this. Bendy was created without a soul, a failed experiment who bore very little resemblance to that of his original cartoon form. Neither man nor cartoon, he existed as a humanoid demon, his entire existence a terrifying embarrassment to his creators. With the eventual closure of Joey Drew's studios, it appears the experiments were eventually contained within the Ink Machine we glimpse in a back room of Joey Drew's apartment. The realistic look and feel of Joey's apartment differs greatly from the cartoonish, hand-drawn look of the studio we explore as Henry. To me, this has always suggested that Joey found a way to trap his failed experiments inside a simulated world, silencing anyone involved and keeping his crimes against humanity locked up tight. However, by doing this, great evil festers inside the rusting walls of the old Ink Machine, an evil known as Bendy, which continues to evolve outside of Joey's control. This would explain why Joey sent for Henry, trapping him inside the twisted cartoon world. Henry's task was to end Bendy's existence, an act which destroys the world inside the Ink Machine and caused him to reawaken in the real world just before his adventure began. This would suggest that Joey used Henry's soul to place him inside the studio to stop Bendy from further evolving, something we glimpse at the end of the game. However, the process continues to fail as we now know Henry has been through this loop several hundred times. A tagline for Bendy and the Dark Revival is "Break the Cycle," seemingly confirming this theory, or at least parts of it. So if Henry's mission is to prevent Bendy from evolving by shutting down the ink machine, which in turn causes a time loop, then surely we've reached a stalemate. The story ends there, right? Well, not exactly. Enter Audrey, a brand new character who may have the ability to actually change events, breaking the cycle and setting everyone inside the ink machine free. At this time, we do not know who Audrey is. We can speculate, but as this video is focused on Bendy and his evolution, it seems more prudent to focus purely on the facts. Audrey has glowing eyes and markings that wrap around her arm and hand. The way these markings glow is similar to the illuminated eyes seen in the character models for the Lost Ones. This suggests that Audrey was born from the ink machine in the same way, however she is a greatly evolved version of those failed experiments. An anomaly, if you will. Neither resembling a perfect Alice Angel clone as we saw with Allison, nor a goopy mess as seen with the Lost Ones. Audrey sits in between the two, but seems to possess the ability to harness power from the very ink coursing through her veins. This makes her a distinctive and powerful creation within this inky world. A forceful ally to both the forces of light and darkness. A theme of Bendy and the Dark Revival is exactly that, making the right choice, to walk with angels or demons.
Don't let the darkness take you. You may walk with angels or cower before demons, but one thing always remains: the choices you make.
This audio from a very early trailer suggests Audrey will have the choice to help Allison Angel in her quest for good, or the demons in their quest for darkness. Who is the most powerful and prominent demon of them all? Why Bendy, of course, and who do we see walking in Audrey's shadow in a recent Dark Revival trailer? The pieces are falling into place. While Dark Revival is very much Audrey's game, it also seems Bendy will play a far bigger role here than he did in Bendy and the Ink Machine. Bendy has evolved, and this has been made possible by the inclusion of an alternate timeline. This is nothing new. Last year we spoke of a possibility of multiple timelines in several theory videos. The fact the developers have mentioned this is neither a sequel nor prequel suggests something more complex story-wise is afoot. While on Henry's timeline the cycle repeats, on Audrey's things may evolve differently. We can see the spiral on Audrey's hand show up on the hidden writing inside Henry's cell during Bendy Chapter 5. This secret writing shown off by the looking glass tool has been written with a familiar glow. It is possible the swirl on Audrey's hand represents a form of time manipulation. And if this is the case, then Audrey can travel between different timelines, changing events as she sees fit. Perhaps some of these timeline changes allow Bendy to evolve in certain ways, becoming more human, more sentient, and receiving the gift of speech. We already know Bendy has the ability to evolve, therefore it isn't a stretch to imagine access to greater knowledge would allow the Ink Demon to transform completely. Which brings us to the latest secret from Bendy prequel Boris and the Dark Survival. In a new update titled The Symphony of Shadows, we unlock a recording which saw the return of an unknown voice first teased over a year ago in this recording.
How very interesting. Such knowledge.
Many have speculated this could be Bendy, and now it seems this concept may have some real evidence to substantiate it. Let's take a listen to the full tape.
It's important to seize an opportunity before it slides through your wrenched fingers. The past so often dies without passing on its bountiful secrets. But oh, Mr. Joey Drew, the secrets
If the voice on this recording is indeed Bendy, then it makes a lot of sense. Bendy speaks of gaining knowledge to bountiful secrets from the past, which would refer to Joey Drew's legacy and creation of the ink machine, how the machine was used to create living cartoons, an army of twisted clones. He speaks of a dark revival. If Audrey decides to team up with Bendy, then she may help use different timelines to restore his body to a less frail and more powerful form, as seen at the end of Bendy and the Ink Machine, saving him before Henry gets a chance to reset the machine. This would also make sense of the line, "The machine must endure." Bendy and Audrey need the machine to withstand Henry's continued attempts to end everything. If it doesn't, then this place would remain their prison forever. Which means the reason Henry's loop keeps resetting may very well be because of Audrey herself. She would then find Bendy the one thing he has always desired, a soul. And by doing this, Bendy takes on a more human appearance and gains Joey Drew's vast knowledge of the inner workings of the ink machine, finding a way to break the cycle and set his ink army free on the human race.
Soon he will hear me. He will set us free.
After all, it seems as though many studio residents, including Susie Campbell and Sammy Lawrence, were betrayed by Joey and now seek revenge.
Betrayed, abandoned. I trusted you. I gave you everything. And you left me to rot.
Could Audrey be the next in a long line of those betrayed by the Twisted Inventor? And if so, her motivations for helping Bendy evolve and escape his inky prison would make a whole lot of sense. Audrey's own dark revival is alluded to by her choice to consume hearts. We glimpsed this in last year's trailer for Bendy and the Dark Revival. Hearts seem to make those who consume them more powerful, but also grow more and more consumed by the darkness around them. We see this with both Alice Angel and Norman Polk's Projectionist. So if Audrey turns away from the light in her mission for revenge against Joey, consuming hearts may be enough to allow Bendy to manipulate his way inside her mind, using Audrey as his puppet to evolve and escape the walls of the old studio.
A pretty girl like you shouldn't be wandering around all by yourself.
Now, while I understand this isn't a completely comprehensive theory, we have covered plenty of ground using the very limited information available. Hopefully this has given you something to ponder while we await the Dark Revival's final release. Will Bendy continue to evolve into human form? Will he use Audrey to build an ink army and escape? And will he talk in the upcoming game? Well, let me know what you think in the comments section below. Leave a like if you did enjoy this video, and of course subscribe for more horror related content. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next video.